Analytics. The word might sound intimidating, but it really just means looking at data. So as writers, why does the word seem so overwhelming? Today, I'm going to take away some of the mystery surrounding analytics and teach you how to look into helpful data points for your blog. Like, who's reading my stuff, when, for how long, and other information that helps you get into the mind of your readers. I'll teach you how to get insights from Wix Analytics and how to set up Google Analytics and Google Search Console as a few added ways to track user behavior. And there's a lot to cover, so let's get started. Let's start with Wix Analytics, since it's already integrated into your blog dashboard. To get to it, go to the dashboard and select Analytics and Reports. And here I can check things like traffic, sales, how people interact with my site, and more. And all of this data will help me understand the people I'm blogging for, my audience. As a blogger, this is super helpful for me to get a feel for what's working and what might need a little bit of refreshing. The Traffic Overview tab shows me my total number of site sessions, or clicks on my site. Unique visitors are how many people visited my site at least once, and average session duration represents the time readers spent on my site. I can also view trends for my traffic over time and see where in the world my readers are located. Data like this can show me where my content is really connecting with readers. Like, I see I have a bunch of readers in Texas. Cool, so next month I'll review some classic Austin barbecue. Looking at numbers helps you prioritize your work and cater it to your specific audience. At Wix, we use something called the Shark Tank method. And what it means is that we label stories that have performed well or that we think will perform well with a shark emoji. Yes, really, shark emoji. It's just an easy identification process. And that way, we know which posts are working well or have the potential to work well, and we can then prioritize these posts and update them more frequently. So that's one way of using analytics. But if you're selling merch related to your blog, there's also a sales overview tab, and that gives you details like number of orders and average order value. You can track your revenue over time and even your best-selling items so you know where to direct your focus. And now to People Overview. This is a really cool feature because you can see who your visitors are and what they do on your site. Clicking over here, I can also download detailed reports if I want to get more into the weeds of my data. And over in Insights, I can see ways that I can improve traffic to make my blog even stronger. And with the Benchmark tab, I can even compare Truckit to other food blogs to better understand where I stand compared to my competition. Over here, Site Speeds gives me performance metrics like page loading time, and this one is really important. Keep an eye on this because conversion rates drop by more than 4% with each additional second it takes for your site to load. Think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 20% of my readership gone just like that. And to make sure I don't miss out on any more readership, I can also set up alerts, which will email me anytime there's a dramatic change in my blog activity that I need to be made aware of. And over here, where it says email updates, this will send me a monthly digest of all of my site's performance numbers, like an analytics newsletter. It's a really great way to compound everything into one place, so I can draw some conclusions about what worked and what didn't and plan next steps. Okay, that's Wix Analytics. Now on to Google. With Google Analytics, you can get an even deeper understanding of how readers get to your site, what they do while they're there, and where they go afterwards. Essentially, you could see the path to and from your site when readers search online. It's pretty cool. To set up Google Analytics, I'll need to create an account for my site and specify my data sharing settings. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Then I'll add my time zone, type in my preferred currency, and some info about my blog. What I'm doing here is I'm basically selecting how I intend to use Google Analytics. When I'm done with that, I'm going to keep this tab open because I'm going to be needing it soon. Next, I'll need to connect Google Analytics to my blog so it knows what it's reading and analyzing. Head to Marketing and SEO, then Marketing Integration. Select Google Analytics and click Connect. I'll follow the detailed step-by-step instructions in the dashboard until I get my analytics report. That report will automatically generate a property, or Google Analytics ID, and this ID contains all of the analytics and data info from my site. So copy that property and go back to my Google Analytics tab that I kept open, and then select Connect Google Analytics up top. I'll go ahead and just paste in that ID into the field right here, and then I'll select IP anonymization, so you can protect your visitor's IP info, and then press save. Now that my blog is connected to Google Analytics, it'll take 24 hours for my site data to appear. But once it does, I'll be able to track my site analytics in real time. Now, Google Analytics works similarly to Wix Analytics, so I won't go into too much detail, but if you want to play around with the reports, you'll see that it goes a bit more in depth into user behavior and traffic. This helps you get an idea of what holds your readers' interest and what pages might need a little bit more work to get there. Now, on to the last analytics tool I'll show you today. Let's talk Google Search Console. This tool gives you the data you need to improve your site performance on Google Search. And I can learn what readers are searching for, which keywords work best for me, like we discussed in Lesson 3, and things like that. But before I can get into it, I have to verify my site with Google by proving that I'm the true owner of Truckit. Remember that SEO whiz we did back in Lesson 5? If you've gone through that process and completed your SEO plan, you're already verified with Google. If not, you can manually verify your site pretty quickly. Go to Google Search Console, select URL prefix property, and type in the URL for your blog. Under HTML, I'll click the dropdown to expand, and then I'll click Copy to get my meta tag code, and then Save. Once I've added these tags, Google Search Console can verify that I own the site, so I can start analyzing my data and see things like what my readers search to get to my site. So I know I mentioned before that analytics just means looking at data, but if you play the analytics game right, it's all about what you do with that data. So take any information you can get and leverage it to make the right moves for your blog and your audience. Getting to know who they are helps you get to know how you can best serve them. All right, that's plenty of information for this lesson. Let that all soak in, and I'll see you back here for the next one about making a living with your blog. It's an important one, so I'll see you there.